Very good morning, students. Welcome back to Narayan PU College online classes, first PUC. Okay. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the second chapter, input, output, and memory devices. In the previous class, we have discussed about the overview of computers, isn't it? But in today's classes, by fresh, we are going to start the second chapter, that is input, output, and memory devices. According to your first PU blueprint, we do this chapter weightage is only 6 marks. That means 1 plus 2 plus 3. I mean to tell 1 mark 1 question, 2 mark 1 question, 3 mark 1 question. It is 1 plus 2 plus 3. It covers 6 marks. So according to your PU board weightage, the weightage of this chapter is only 6 marks. We have 1 mark 1 question. I repeat, 1 mark 1 question, 2 mark 1 question, and 3 marks 1 question. So before getting into the chapter, I have given you the objectives. What are the objectives of this chapter? What is the outcome of this chapter and what is the objective of this chapter? After going through this chapter, you should be aware of all these things. So the objective of this chapter is any chapter or any lesson if you take, you have an object, isn't it? In technical terms, what is the outcome of this chapter in the sense? We have the objectives as to identify the types of purpose of input devices. So what is the purpose and the types of input devices, output devices, memory devices. Memory devices and storage devices are nothing but the same. But in memory devices, we will see in depth the primary memory, secondary memory, as well as about the cache memory. The types of cache memory we will discuss. So the objectives are to identify the types and purpose of the input devices, output devices, memory devices, storage devices, and cache memory. Okay, so when I talk about input devices, so you all aware of that when you discuss the functional components of a computer, you know the input devices, output devices, you do have a memory, you do have a processor. So what basically why we need input devices? So why we need input devices? To feed the data into a computer. There are n number of input devices, but what is the purpose of using input devices? To feed the data into the computer. So what type of data we are going to feed? Before feeding the data into a computer, first you should understand what is the meaning of data. You might have discussed in your first chapter, we might have discussed data is nothing but collection of raw facts. Okay, I call it as raw facts as well as figures. What is data? Data is a collection of raw facts and figures. It can be numeric, it can be alphabets, it can be text, it can be images, it can be audio, it can be video, etc. Whatever you see in your real-time environment, all we consider it as a data. So I need an input device to feed the data inside the computer. So one of the widely used input devices is a keyboard. What are the input devices? Keyboard, mouse, joystick. We have OCR, optical character reader or recognizer, MICR, and OMR. Okay, we have n number of input devices. The most widely input devices to feed the data into a computer is your keyboard. So, in what language we do give the data, how to feed the data into the computer? The most commonly known languages are Kannada, English, and other regional languages. That is what the human beings, human understandable languages, Kannada, English, and other regional languages. Isn't it or not? So, when I want to feed this data inside the computer will understand mission level language. That is nothing but zeros and ones. How it will understand? I discussed about the signals, okay, analog signals and digital signals. The computer will understand the mission level languages. In turn, it is nothing but your analog and digital signal. In what language I told the human understands? The languages are Kannada, usually it is English and Kannada and other regional languages. Now, the computer has to understand the human format, the languages which are in the human understandable form into a mission language, that is zeros and ones. So we need a device to feed the data into a computer, that is nothing but your input device. I told the major input devices, that is the keyboard. First is keyboard, mouse, joystick, OCR, MICR, and OMR. Now first we will see about the keyboard. told the most widely and commonly used input device is a keyboard. Okay, see, I have shown you the keyboard. This is a standard keyboard. So in keyboard, what are the keys present? See, I have written on the board. We do have functional keys, numeric keys, alphabetic keys, special keys, direction keys, normal keys, and we have lock keys. Okay. So now see, in the standard keyboard, this is a standard keyboard. We have approximately how many keys? So they'll ask, this question will arise in an exam point of view. How many keys are present in your keyboard? Nearly, if you count and see, it varies. So I'll tell you the standard keys present in the keyboard is 105 to 108. Okay. So in that, we have first functional keys. See here, the top of your keyboard, you have functional keys. See F1, F2, F3 to F12. These keys are known as functional keys. What keys? These keys are called as functional keys. See, these functional keys are used to perform a specific operation or a specific task in your system, in your computer. For example, if you press F2, you can rename your folder. If you press F5, you can run your PPT. Like that, each and every key will have a specific function in your keyboard. So these are nothing but your functional keys. So what are your functional keys? It ranges from F1 to F12. Okay, these are called your functional keys. Okay, these are called your functional keys. Next we have numeric keys. See, numeric keys, it is also present here at the top. See here, next to the functional keys, we have numbers, isn't it? From 1 to 9, here we have 0. Okay, these are called as numeric keys. And here towards your right also you have a number pad. Here also you have a number pad, you have numericals, isn't it? So these are called your numeric keys. Your numeric keys are from 0 to 9. Okay, 1 to 9, here we have 0. So next, after the numeric keys, we have alphabetic keys. So in the alphabetic keys, you may see it is in Q, W, E, R, T, Y pattern. Even in the typewriter, you will come across this Q, W, E, R, T, Y. What is this? It will not start from A, B, C, D. The standard keyboard, always the alphabet will start from Q, W, E, R, T, Y keyboard antane heltare. Okay. So that is nothing but your standard keyboard. Okay. So the alphabetic keys you can see here. Next to your numeric keys, you have your alphabetic keys. You have normal keys. I told normal keys are nothing but your space bar. These are called as your normal keys. Then what do you mean by special keys? See, these are called as your special keys. What are your special keys? You have print screen, scroll up, pause break, insert, home page up, delete, end the page down. These are called as your special keys. See, you do have directional keys. This arrows you can see, one is vertical, one is horizontal, one is left to right and all. So this is these keys are in that, they are telling you that these are the directional keys. Next we have, I told about normal keys, and then here you can see lock keys. So these are your lock keys. So if you press caps lock, if you want the alphabets to be in capital letter, you need to on this caps lock. So this button will glow. If you want numerical pad, this number keyboard should be on, you need to press the number thing. So if you lock this, the keys will be locked. If you don't want the numbers, you should give a num lock. Okay, these keys are called as lock keys. I repeat it again. See, you have seen the keyboard. I shown you the keyboard. I shown you the keyboard. Now see, keyboard. Why we use keyboard? To feed the data into the computer. In what language, in what type of data we are feeding, that also I told it will be in English like language. It is human understandable language. In turn, the system will, what will convert? The input device, your keyboard will convert the human understandable language into machine understandable language. That is nothing but zeros and ones. That is in the form of machine level language. That is through analog or digital signal. For example, I will give you an example. When you press a key, for example A, the ASCII value for A, capital A is 65. If at all I press A, it will be converted into ASCII value. I will tell you what is ASCII value in your future classes, or in the first chapter you might have discussed. Okay, what are the ASCII values for all the alphabets and all the numbers which are present in your keyboard. So in turn this will be converted into hexadecimal into your machine level language. That is how the system understands when you press A, the system will understand in its own machine level language, that is in zeros and ones. So how many keys are present in your keyboard? in a standard keyboard 105 to 108. So we do have types of keys in the keyboard. One is functional keys, numeric keys, alphabetic keys, special keys, direction keys, normal keys and lock keys. Okay students, we have discussed about the keyboard. Now I will discuss about the types of keyboard. Okay, what are the types of keyboard? Now see, we have 5 types of keyboard. We have standard keyboard, ergonomic keyboard, wireless keyboard, virtual keyboard and compact keyboard. So now recently I showed you a keyboard that is nothing but standard keyboard. So what is the feature of standard keyboard? Standard keyboard, I told you will have 105 to 108 keys. Slightly though the keys will range from even 95 to 108. Okay. Now I told you the standard keyboard keys ranges from 105 to 108, as well as it is a QWERTY. QWERTY, that means the alphabet will start from Q. QWERTY. So that is the standard for, that is nothing but your standard keyboard. You have 105 to 108 keys and it is a QWERTY keyboard. These are the 2 points which you have to keep in mind in case of standard keyboard. Next, the special feature about the ergonomic keyboard is, there were people those are continuously using the keyboard. Okay, they were suffering from a disease called as carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome. What is the difference between disease and syndrome? If I have a diabetic, it is a disease. If I have cholesterol, BP, everything, that is nothing but a syndrome. Collection of disease, we call it as a syndrome, isn't it? So added to, I told you this is a carpal tunnel syndrome. This is nothing but an individual will be suffering from continuous stress which is given to the wrist and the muscles. So his hands will not be in a normal position. When he types, usually will be in the standard form. Usually even I used to instruct the students, you should use your both the hands to type. For typing you need to use both of your hands. But see, their wrist and their hands will not be in a normal form. It is slightly, it will vary. Why? Because those people will be suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome. That is because the strain which is given onto the muscles in the wrist, so their wrist gets misplaced, the bones get misplaced, so it will not be that their hands will not be normal. Okay, so such people, that disease we call it as carpal tunnel syndrome. So in order to help these people, they just develop the ergonomic keyboard. Ergonomics is the study of the disease, that is carpal tunnel syndrome, and it reduces the stress which is given onto the muscles. Okay, for that they specially designed a keyboard. It will not be like a standard keyboard. So those people, those who are suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome, they can use this ergonomic keyboard. Okay, next we have wireless keyboard. So what do you mean by wireless keyboard? So when I talk about wireless keyboard only, there is wireless. There is no wired connection. It is wireless. So how they will connect? They use Bluetooth, IR, infrared radiations and radio frequencies. They use all these things to connect to the monitor. Okay. Now you have a doubt. What is the distance? What distance? Till what distance the wireless keyboard can work? It is nearly 1 to 40 feet distance. The user the distance between the keyboard and the monitor, or the user, those who are using, they should be within this distance, that is 1 to 40 feet. Within that range only we can use this wireless keyboard. Okay. Next we have virtual keyboard. Virtual keyboard mainly designed for your security reasons, for security purpose. What do you mean by virtual? That is not real. It is not your hardware, the hardware part. Now we have seen a keyboard, that is the hardware. Okay, we have seen the keyboard, but here same like your hardware, we do have an application, an app which has all the keys, like how your hardware keyboard has all the keys will be present in the virtual keyboard. It will open up as an app. Okay. So usually where they use in the online banking as well as in the reserve banks and the world banks, they use the virtual keyboard. First, to enter their PIN numbers, they use the virtual keyboard. Why? When we use the hardware keyboard, the keystrokes will be recorded on the key log. So as I said, they can use the password. Okay. So they can misuse the password. In order to avoid such problem in the virtual keyboard, we have virtual keyboard as an app. So we can use the virtual keyboard for security reasons. Usually it is been designed for your smartphones, your handheld phones, okay? For all your PCs like smartphones, handheld phones, palm tops, tablets and all, they use this virtual keyboard. One more thing is, okay, the main purpose, one more thing is it reduces like a compact keyboard only. It requires less space, it is portable. Next thing is for security purpose. Okay, next the last type of keyboard is compact keyboard. Compact keyboard usually it is designed for your laptops. If you see, they don't have this numeric part, numeric keypad, numeric keys will not be again present on the. See, in your standard keyboard, you might have seen the numeric keys which is present on this side. Okay, these keys will not be present in your compact keyboard, especially the keys which you see in the laptops are compact keyboard. This is mainly to reduce the space. Okay. So, students, we were discussing about the keyboard and the types, isn't it? So, why we need keyboard? To feed the data into the computer. I am telling data. I told what is data? Data is a collection of raw facts and figures. I didn't tell information. We are feeding data. Again and again I am stressing and telling because there is a difference between data and information. Data is collection of raw facts and figures. It can be whatever you see around you in the real time. We consider it as a data. But the processed form, once it processed in the processor and comes out, we call that as information. Okay. So we are feeding the data inside the computer. For this mainly we use the input device as keyboard. There are different types of keyboard. 5 types of keyboard. Standard keyboard, ergonomic keyboard, wireless keyboard, virtual keyboard and compact keyboard. So, standard keyboard, two things you have to keep in mind. It is QWERTY keyboard. How many keys are present in the standard keyboard? Nearly 105 to 108 keys. Next we have ergonomic keyboard. Ergonomics is the study of, it is a science or it's a branch which deals with the study of the stress which is put onto the muscles, and it also discusses about the carpal tunnel syndrome. So, the people who are suffering from this syndrome, they won't be able to use the normal standard keyboard. For such kind of physically disabled people, to reduce the stress which is put onto the muscle, they just invented a new keyboard which is called as ergonomic keyboard. Next we have wireless keyboard. I told it is not wired, wireless connection. If at all it is a wireless connection, we need to use Bluetooth, infrared radiation and radio. Okay, we have radio frequencies to connect to your monitor. Monitor is connected to your keyboard with the help of these. And what is the minimum distance we should maintain between the keyboard and the monitor is 1 to 40 feet distance. Okay. Next is virtual keyboard. Virtual keyboards are mainly used for security purpose. What kind of security? Tight security which is used in your online banking system. In the world banks, in the reserve banks, they usually do not go for the normal keyboards, they go for virtual keyboard. Why? Because all your keys will be recorded, the keystrokes will be recorded into a key log. It will be a problem. They can steal the key, your password, they can misuse it. So, for your security purpose, for all your secret PIN number, we use virtual keyboard. Virtual keyboard is nothing but a software. It is an app. Okay, it is not your hardware, but it will be same as your hardware. What are the keys which is present in your hardware? In your hardware keyboard, all the keys are present even in the virtual keyboard. Next we have compact keyboard. Compact keyboard mainly it is designed for your compactness. Okay, for portability. Like all the keys which are present in your laptops are compact keypads. Okay. So, there in the compact keyboard we will not have the numeric keys. On the side we have a separate numeric keypad. That keypad will not be present in your compact keyboard. Okay. Next we will see about the next input device is mouse. Students, next we will go to the next most widely used input device is your mouse. Okay. Mouse. So, what is the abbreviation for mouse? This might be a one-mark question they may ask. Okay. What is the abbreviation for mouse? Mechanically operated user serial engine. Okay, the abbreviation for mouse. Mechanically operated user serial engine. This is nothing but your next input device. Why we use this mouse? It is to just control the movement, your cursor movement in your monitor. Okay. Mouse is also one of your input device. It is used to control the cursor movement. Okay. The cursor movement, you have seen this arrow mark. Okay. We won't call call it as an arrow mark, we call it as cursor. So this cursor, in order to control this cursor movement, we use mouse. Okay, I repeat, mouse is, the abbreviation is mechanically operated user serial engine. Why we need mouse? Mouse is an input device which is used to control the movement of cursors. Okay, which is used to roll or navigate. There are different types of mouses. One is manual mouse, scroll mouse, USB mouse and wireless mouse. Manual mouse. Okay. The years like above before 2005 and all, okay, they were using this mechanically, this manual mouse. Okay, manual mouse, if you happen to see the picture, down your manual mouse you have a ball, like a scrolling ball will be present. Okay, downside your inside your manual mouse. So when you rotate, when you start using your mouse, how the ball rotates, based on that the cursor movement will also move. Okay, the cursor movements we can manage by using the movement of the ball which is present inside your manual mouse. Okay, in the manual mouse a ball is present inside the manual mouse. Based on the movement of a small ball which is rotating in your manual mouse, we can control the movement of cursor. Next we have scroll mouse. So in the scroll mouse usually you have a scroll type. See now, scroll mouse, you have a scroller, we have a left button, right button. To do the left click and the right click, we use the scroll mouse. And next we do have USB mouse. So this is nothing but your USB mouse. Nowadays we are using USB keyboards and USB mouse. Okay, it will be like this, your data cable type. It is used to directly connect to your CPU. Before that, when we were using the manual mouse, we won't have this USB type ports. We won't have this port. We used to connect, it has a different port. Okay, we have serial port, parallel port and all. We have different types of port. There we used to connect the mouse. Okay, nowadays we have this USB. So we do call this type of mouse as USB mouse. Next you have wireless mouse. So the mouse will not be connected with the CPU with the help of a wire. It is a wireless connection. As we are aware of that, since I told it is a wireless connection, we will be using the IR rays, okay, infrared rays. So inside the mouse we have a light, isn't it? So what kind of rays we are using? We are using IR rays, infrared rays, okay, infrared rays. We are using in the, what is that, wireless mouse. So recently, even it may be USB mouse and wireless mouse, we use IR radiation, infrared radiations to connect the mouse to the your CPU. We use IR radiations in case of wireless mouse. Okay. Next, I'll discuss about the types of mouse once again. Mouse stands for mechanically operated user serial engine. Basically, why we need mouse? Mouse is used to control the movement of cursor in your surface, in your monitor. Okay, it is used to roll or it is used to navigate. We have different types of mouse. We have manual mouse, scroll mouse, USB mouse and wireless mouse. So the next input devices. First we have seen about the keyboard, next mouse, the next input device is joystick. So we are familiar about the joystick. Joysticks basically why they use in the video games. In the online gaming, especially in the video games, they use the joystick. Joystick is one of the input devices. Basically they use in your video games. Okay, in the gaming applications, in the video games, in the online gaming, they use joystick. Why they use? They need to move. Okay, when they play the video games, when they want to change the direction, in all the axes they use the joystick. This type of lever you might have seen even in the cranes. They use this type of lever in the cranes, trucks and in the unmanned vehicle underwater. In the underwater there won't be any human beings. Okay, in the underwater unmanned humans. So there won't be human beings. So the unmanned vehicles are controlled by using your joysticks. Okay, by using this joystick, I can call this as a stick and this is a base. So the stick is pivoted on the base. So why this lever type, they use to control the directions. In all the directions they can use. You can move the stick in the x-axis, y-axis and in the z-axis. We can change the angles. We can change the directions with the help of the stick. It has a base and we do have a button. We do have a trigger. At the side of your stick we have a trigger and we have buttons. These buttons are used again. This is used to place when we want to place the things onto the positions in a gaming app. We use this buttons in the joysticks. I repeat, joystick is a video. We use joystick in your video game. Okay, to give the inputs, we use joystick. Joysticks where and all we will see in the real-time applications, in the trains, in the trucks, in the unmanned vehicles, even in the surveillance cameras they use the joysticks, and even in the hospitals you might have seen in the wheelchairs. Okay, the wheelchairs also, in automatic wheelchairs, a patient when he has this joystick, he can control the movement of his the locomotives, the locomotions of the wheels can be controlled with the help of this stick. Okay. There are all we have seen in the real-time application. When I talk about the parts of the joystick, we have a stick, we have a base, we have buttons, triggers, and basically what is the purpose of using this joystick? We can play the games in all the directions. Okay, even in the 3D. Okay, even in the Z directions we can change the joysticks. X axis, Y axis, Z axis. Even we can change the angle. Okay, students, we have discussed about the input devices. Like first we have discussed about the keyboard, next we discussed about the mouse, the third input device is joystick. We have discussed about keyboard, mouse and joystick. Next we will discuss about the next what are the input devices we will discuss in our future classes is OMR, optical mark reader. Then we have OCR, optical character reader or recognizer. Next we have MICR, magnetic ink character recognizer. Okay, we have OMR, OCR and MICR. Now first we will discuss about OMR. What does OMR stands for? OMR stands for optical mark reader or recognizer. What does OMR stands for? Optical mark reader. Optical mark reader. Okay. So where we use the OMRs? Where we are usually when we come across the OMR, optical mark reader, in academic exams, like when there will be lots of, especially the best example, they write CET, when they write the common entrance test and all, their answers will be filled in the OMR sheets. Okay, they will give a OMR sheets. In the answers have the object, the questions will be in objectives. So you need to fill the OMR sheets. So these OMR sheets will not be manually corrected. It will be fed into the OMR, optical mark reader machine. It is nothing but an hardware. It is a machine. OMR reader is a machine. Like it will appear like this. It will be similar to your voting machine. If you are seeing a voting machine, the size, the thickness will be similar to your voting machine. So it will be like that. The appearance will be like this. Okay, optical mark reader. To this optical mark reader, you will feed your OMR sheets. Isn't it? You will feed your OMR sheets. OMR, I told it stands for optical mark reader. The OMR sheets, now how the data is read by the computer? So before that it has to be programmed. The data is read by using a laser beam. Okay, the laser beam. This laser beam will recognize the pictures, symbols and shapes. Okay, so it will be programmed. Every dot, whatever it is kept on the OMR sheets, it will be programmed. So we have, when you see the OMR sheet will appear like this. We have the alphabets like A, B, C, D, the choices. We have a oval shape. A oval shape thing is present on the OMR sheet. So when we shade, when I darken, suppose my answer for the first question, for the question number 1, this is question number 2. For question number 1, if the answer is B, I just darken this. So this is fed, this is read as, this is a data. This input is fed into the OMR mark reader. This is being read by the computer. So based on this, if it is correct, the marks will be allocated. If it is wrong, and there is a negative marking, they will reduce the marks. Otherwise, the marks will not be counted. Okay. So similarly, I told you the circle. This is not a circle. It will be a oval shape thing in your OMR sheet. Okay. Your OMR sheet, before this OMR mark reader is programmed, each and every dot which is present in your OMR mark reader is programmed. That is being read by a laser beam. What and all it can be? Pictures, symbols and shape. Here it is in case, here in the OMR sheet, I took the example of your CET exam. In the CET they give you the OMR mark sheet. There it is, the oval shape. If the oval shape is darkened, it will consider that as the answer. Okay, it will read. It works in that format. We have seen, we have discussed about the OMR, optical mark reader. I told optical mark reader why it is needed. how the data is being fed in the system, how the data is fed into the computer. We have seen. Next we'll move on to OCR. OCR, the abbreviation for OCR is optical character recognition. I repeat, OCR stands for optical character recognition. Okay, where this optical character recognition is used, it is used in a, have you seen a scanner? To scan the data from the printed text. Okay, it can be a handwritten information or it can be a printed text. The data is fed in your computer with the help of a scanner. There we use this optical character recognition software. Okay, this optical character recognition software helps us to scan or helps us to grab the printed information or the handwritten information. Usually in the scanner, what will happen when we scan, it will be scanned as the, suppose if I scan a magazine, if I scan a textbook, the printed text is scanned as it is, how it is in the text, it is being scanned in the system in the form of image. Okay, it will be an image, we cannot edit it. But this optical character recognition software, which is being again merged into your system, it helps us to convert the we can edit the image is being edited, the image is being converted into text where we can edit the text. Okay, in this, that is a special feature about this optical character recognizer or recognition. It helps us to edit the textual document. I repeat, it is only for the text. Okay, here I am telling the image document. This image document is nothing but a textual document. I am talking about the textual document. It is copied into your system in the form of image. That image can be edited or texted. Okay, the best example is, for example, you are traveling somewhere, your boss is giving you a job. Okay, he is giving you a job like this. I need this document to be edited. So that time you may not carry a scanner with you, isn't it or not? Now how the image document has to be edited? By using this OCR software, you can easily edit the image document, which is nothing but the textual document. You can add some points to it, you can edit the document, again you can by using this OCR software you can again convert it to image and send it to your boss. Okay, so this OCR plays a very vital role in converting the printed textual information, or basically where they use in the magazines. Okay, in the magazines they use this OCRs, because that has to be edited at any cost. It will not be static, it has to change. No, the information keeps changing. In the magazines they use this optical character recognition software. How this OCR works, they use the technology called as artificial neural networking. They used to train the network. What is A? If I write A, both are A only, but this is capital, this is small. The OCR should learn, it has to be trained, the network, the artificial neural network will be trained to recognize the character. It has to be trained to recognize the numericals. Okay, so in that way they train the network will convert the image document which is in the textual form, it will be converted into a editable form. We can edit the image document and we can send it back to the in the original form, we can send it back to your boss. That is the best example for OCR, optical character recognition. Next we will see MICR. So we are discussing about the input unit, students. We discussed about OCR, we discussed about OMR. Now the last input device is MICR. MICR stands for Magnetic Ink Character Recognition. I repeat, MICR. These are your 1-mark question. They may ask you the application of each and every input device, or else they will ask you the application or abbreviation. Abbreviation for 1 marks. If they ask the applications of all these 3 input devices, it will be for 3 marks. Okay, so keep it in your mind. What is the abbreviation for MICR? MICR stands for Magnetic Ink Character Recognition. So why they use Magnetic Ink Character Recognition? Especially they use a special input device in case of in the banks. In the bank people will use this magnetic special input device called as MICR. Why they use this MICR? In the sense, in the check. Okay, in the check we have check number, we have bank numbers and all. So in order to identify this check number, in the check, this check is not being printed by using a normal ink. It is being printed by using special ink. Okay, the ink which they use to print the text, the numbers, they use numbers which is printed on your check is used by a special ink. Okay, the ink, in order to recognize these numbers, if you happen to see the check, in the check we have check number. If you happen to see the DD, we have those DD numbers and all. These numbers are printed by using a special type of ink. So okay, it is not handwritten. Okay, in order to avoid the human errors, in order to detect the special type of ink, especially your check number, your bank numbers, they use the MICR input device. MICR input device has the capability to recognize the numericals which is being written in the special ink. Okay, especially in checks and DDs, the numbers are written by using a special ink. It is not a normal ink. Okay, in order to read these characters, they use a MICR reader. I repeat, to read the check numbers and the DD numbers which is printed on your check or DD, because those numbers or numericals are written in a special type of ink. In order to read those characters, they use a special input device called magnetic ink character recognition, and it is more accurate. Okay, when you use scanner or not, it may not be very accurate, because even in banks, if you it might be you, but when you sign in your paying slips and all, if your signature slightly varies, they get rejected, isn't it? So your signature, your specimen signature is very mandatory there, and it should be unique too. Once you should not be keep on changing your signature. Similarly, in order to avoid the errors, manual errors, they use this magnetic ink character recognizer. It will recognize the characters which is printed on your checks and DDs. 99% they use this magnetic ink character recognizer or recognition in the banks. Okay, next we'll see the output units. Okay students, now so far we have discussed about the input devices, isn't it? We have discussed about the input device. What are the input devices we discussed? Keyboard, mouse, joystick, OCR, MICR, OMR. These are the input devices we discussed. Now we'll discuss about the output devices. So what are the output devices we see? The output devices, usually the widely used output devices will be a monitor, next it will be a printer, your speaker, your projector, okay, printer, speaker, projector, all these are the widely used output devices. Okay, now I'll be explaining in detail about the monitor. So monitor, it is also called as visual display unit. The monitor is also called as VDU. VDU stands for visual display unit. Now I told you we do have when I spoke about the input devices, I told you input devices are used to feed the data inside the computer. So the data will be usually in the human understandable form. It will be in English or in Kannada. Similarly, when I display the data to the user, the data should be human understandable form. It also should be in the human understandable language like English, Kannada, or the normal languages. But what language the machine gives the output? It gives the output in the machine level language. It is languages which has been understood by the machines, isn't it or not? So now I need the data which the human beings understand, isn't it? It could be in English, it could be in Kannada, it could be in any of the regional languages. Now to do that, I do have a output unit or an output device. Who will do that work for us? Monitor. Okay, monitor is used to display the data to the user in the human understandable form. It will be mostly in the regional languages. Okay, now I'll tell you both. We'll discuss in detail about the monitor. The other name for monitor is VDU. I told. What is monitor? It is called as a visual display unit. So when I need to talk about pixel here, when I talk about monitor, I should talk about pixel. What is pixel? Suppose this dot, I call it as a pixel. Okay. In a computer, the resolution is mainly based on the pixel. Okay. Suppose I take the monitor. Monitor should be in the aspect ratio of 4:3. Width to height 4:3 ratio. 4:3 ratio, that is width to height. Here the number of pixels which is vertically and horizontally present, we call that as resolution. What is called as resolution? I told what is a pixel. A dot is called as a pixel. What is resolution? The number of pixels which is vertically and horizontally present in the monitor, we call that as the resolution. So I discussed about the output device, the widely used output device. I told it's monitor. Monitor is also called as visual display unit. I repeat, monitor is also called as visual display unit. I spoke about aspect ratio as well as resolution. The number of pixels which is vertically and horizontally presented, which presents inside the screen, okay, we call it as the resolution. So I have given you certain examples. One is 640 into 48 pixel resolution, 840 into 600 pixel resolution, 1024 into 768 pixel resolution. Now you do you have any guesses? Which resolution will have a clear picture? Which will have a clear better image? The pixel which is with 640 into 480 resolution or 1024 into 768 resolution. This will have a better clarity. This will have a better picture clearance when I compare with the 460 into 480. Why? Because as the number of pixels increases, the resolution increases. So 1024 into 768, this resolution will have a better clarity of the images. I told you aspect ratio is 4:3, whereas resolution should be like, this will be a standard resolution, 1024 into 768 pixel. Okay, this is about the resolution and the pixel. Then I want to tell you one more thing. Have you seen the monitor? The monitor will be similar to your television. Okay, in the olden days, the monitor will be similar to our television. We have different types of monitor. I tell you CRT monitor, LCD monitor, TFT monitor and LED monitor. So the first monitor is CRT monitor, that is cathode ray tube monitor, CRT monitor. It will be similar to your television, right? In the olden days we have a television. At the back we have seen the back is heavy. In those CRT monitors, we'll see those olden days televisions, the back side of the television will be heavy. That is because this cathode ray tube, this CRT is present inside your television. Okay, I'll tell you about the working of CRT monitor. Okay, we'll discuss about the working of CRT. In the CRT monitor, I told we'll discuss about cathode ray tube monitor. In the CRT monitor, the backside, when you see the CRT monitor, so it will be like this. We do have a backside, it will be like this. We have a gun. We call this as a gun type. Okay. Here, this gun will be keep on emitting electrons. Okay. When this electrons goes and hits on the screen, we have a phosphorus coating. We have a phosphorus coating. When the electrons hit the screen, this phosphorus, it darkens the pixel. Okay. When this electrons goes and hits the screen, there the pixel will be darkened. Okay. So as much as electrons it goes and hits the phosphorus coating in your CRT monitor, it darkens the pixel. That's how the resolution gets improved. These type of monitors they use in the olden days, especially in the olden days television. Even that television, it appears as a olden days television. They use this kind of system, that is the cathode ray tube system, where the gun keeps on continuously emitting the electrons. This electrons goes and hits the phosphorus screen. The phosphorus on the screen. As a result of that point will be darkened, so that it gives us the resolution in your screen. Okay, this is about the CRT monitor. Next we'll discuss about LCD monitor. Okay, LCD monitor. In the monitor, first we discussed about CRT monitor, cathode ray tube monitor. Next we'll discuss about LCD monitor. LCD stands for liquid crystal display. So the main feature of LCD, liquid crystal monitor, is it works on the liquid crystal. Okay, the monitor glows on the liquid crystal. It is thin, it is light. It is a light computer monitor and it is very thin. Okay, usually it is a flat panel monitor. I repeat, LCD monitor is usually a flat panel monitor. So we do have 64 different shades per cell. What is the 64 different shades per cell? When the electrons lit on the grid, when electrons lifts the screen, we do have 64 different shades per cell. That means electricity intensity varies. When the electricity we do have 64 shades per cell, and it basically works on the liquid crystal. The electrons goes and lifts the liquid crystal. As a result, we do get, based on the electricity variations, we get 64 different shades per cell. Next we discuss about TFT monitor. Students, I discussed about CRT monitor, LCD monitor. We do have one more monitor called as TFT monitor. TFT stands for thin film transistor. Thin film transistor is a technology. Most of the LCD monitors, they use this TFT technology, and such kind of monitors we call it as TFT monitors. What is TFT? TFT is a thin film transistor. It's a technology. Most of the LCD monitors are TFT. Okay, next we have LED monitors. LED stands for light emitting diode. Okay, light emitting diode. In this type of monitor, we consider the resolution. We have two integers. Okay, there they take the width and height. Okay, they take the width and height. As the electrons hits the screen, okay, the light grows. As many pixels increases, the resolution of the screen will also get increased. Okay, in case of LED monitor, the clarity is very good. When I compare to CRT, when I compare to LCD and TFT, the resolution is very good in LED. I spoke about the resolution 1024 into 768. That will give us, that type of resolution will give us a better clarity. Okay, so I repeat, what are the types of monitors we are seeing. Before that, I just revise what is monitor, why we use monitor. Monitor is nothing but one of the widely used output device. The human understandable languages like English, Kannada, the regional languages the system has to display the information in human understandable form. So we need to have an output device which converts this machine level language into the human understandable form. That means the data is processed. Once the data is processed in your CPU, the processed information has to be put to the user in the human understandable form. For that we use monitor. Monitor is also called as visual display unit. We spoke about aspect ratio and resolution, and what is pixel. I repeat, pixel you keep in mind. A dot I call it as a pixel. So the number of pixel which is vertically and horizontally present in your monitor screen, I call that is the resolution. Okay, next we have seen about the different types of resolution as well as the size. Okay, I didn't tell about the size. Now see, when I tell size of the monitor, I tell 12 inches, 11 inches, I tell 15 inches, 21 inches, 32 inches. That is nothing but the size of the monitor. The size of the monitor we usually tell in inches. Okay, the resolution of the monitor we measure in terms of pixel. We have seen different types of monitors: CRT monitor, LCD monitor, TFT monitor and LED monitor. Which monitor will give you the better clarity and a better picturization is recently in the current technology in the modern world we are using LED monitor, light emitting diode monitor. There we are interchangeably, if you are using LCD, if you are using LED. So the recent one is LED, and nowadays plasma has also come, isn't it or not? So that is about your output units. Next we will discuss, for the today's class we discussed about the input and the output, a part of output devices. Okay, I'll just brief about the input and output devices. Students, I just revise about the input and the output devices. So in today's class what we discussed, we have seen about what is input devices and what are the input devices and the output devices. What is input devices? It is used to feed the data inside the computer. I'm stressing it is data, not information. Data is a collection of raw facts and figures. So the computer has to understand the data which the user is feeding. We need an input device. It will be usually normal English-like languages that has to be again converted into machine-like languages which the computer will understand. That is nothing but zeros and ones. In terms of digital and analog signals, the computer will sense it. That is electrical signals. So what are the type of input devices? We do have keyboard, mouse, joystick, OCR, OMR and MACR. Keyboard. When I spoke about keyboard, the most widely used input device is keyboard to feed the data inside the computer. I discussed about different types of keyboard. One is standard keyboard, ergonomic keyboard and wireless keyboard, virtual keyboard and compact keyboard. Next I discussed about mouse. Mouse is the next widely used input device too. It is used to control the movement of cursor in the monitor. Okay, to navigate and roll the cursor movements we use mouse. Mouse stands for mechanically operated user serial engine. Okay. Next we have different types of mouse: manual mouse, scroll mouse, USB mouse and wireless mouse. When I talk about wireless keyboard and wireless mouse, they will use Bluetooth, IR radiations and radio frequencies. Next we see the next used input device is joystick. Joystick is basically used for gaming, video gaming. Okay, in order to move the cursor in all possible directions, in all possible angles, I use the stick in the joystick for all the movements for the movements of images. I use joystick. I use stick. We can move the images in all possible direction: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Okay. Next I have where we find the real-time application of joystick in the cranes, trucks, in the moving chairs, in the wheelchairs, in the hospitals. There we see this joysticks. The people, those who lift the heavy objects in the cranes too, they use this joystick, the lever. Okay, it will be similar to the joystick. Next we see the next two widely used input devices are OCR, OMR and MACR. OCR stands for optical character recognition or reader, OMR stands for optical mark reader, MACR stands for magnetic ink character recognition. Okay, where we use OCR, optical character recognition, I told you it is similar to your scanner. It's nothing but a software where they used to convert the printed text into a editable form. Okay, we can edit the image document. Next, OMR, optical mark reader. I told you the example of the academic exams or the competitive exams in the CET. They give OMR sheets. So the answers are fed to the computer with the help of OMR reader, optical mark reader, similar to your this voting machine. Okay. Next is MACR. MACR is a special type of input device. It is basically used to recognize a special link which is being used in the checks and DDs. Okay. These are the things which we discussed in the input devices. In the input devices, we discussed about these many things. Okay. In the output device, I discussed only about monitor. What are the output device I discussed? Output device, the first and foremost output device is your monitor. Then we have printer, speaker, projector, etc. But in today's class, we could cover only till monitor. So what is monitor? Again, monitor is also called as video visual display unit. We have seen about the aspect ratio. It is 4:3, that is width and height. Okay. Next we have seen about CRT monitor. The monitor, it is nothing but like olden days television. You see, it appears your monitor is similar to your television. So we have CRT monitor. CRT stands for cathode ray tube monitor. It is similar to your olden days television. At the back of your television or the monitor, it will be very heavy. Why? Because of this cathode ray tube. When the electron gets emitted by the gun inside the monitor, the phosphorus which is present on the screen gets darkened. That is how the pixel gets darkened. We get the better resolution in the CRT monitor. When I consider LCD monitor, LCD gives the better resolution than the CRT monitor. LCD stands for liquid crystal display. Okay. Next, TFT. TFT monitor stands for thin film technology. Thin film transistor. Thin film transistor monitor. This technology is being widely used in all of your LCD monitors. Next, I discussed about LED, light emitting diode monitor. This is at the last I told you 1024 into 768. This type of resolution will give a better clarity. This type of resolution will give a better clarity of images. This they use in the LED. Okay, liquid crystal display. And in the modern technology, they even go for plasma, isn't it? Plasma technology. But for our syllabus, we discussed about CRT, LCD, TFT and LED, about printer, speaker and the memory and the other output devices and the memory devices like cache, your USB, your primary storage, your primary memory devices and secondary memory and all. We will discuss in the upcoming classes. Thank you.